can see first is we will try to understand what is biochemistry. Okay, what is biochemistry? Then second part is I will tell you the topics that we are going to talk about in a broad sense. Okay, broad topic that we are going to talk about in MD1 and then MD2. So whole biochemistry topics, broad way, broad topics. So then I will tell you about the molecules, that are very basic molecules of biochemistry that you need to have a concept about. Then we will talk about how to. So I will give you tips here, how you should study biochemistry. Okay. Then we will, if we are left with some time, then we will talk a little bit about enzyme. Okay. So these are the part of the today's discussion. First, what is biochemistry? Can anybody tell me what is biochemistry?
Biochemistry, off the top of my head, would be the study of molecular level of the molecular level of the human body and how proteins and enzymes are used and synthesized in the body.
Okay, that is good. Zoltek.
Yes, sir.
This Zoltek? Yeah. What do I say? You?
Zoltan.
Zoltan. Okay. Zoltan. So see, you're right. So biochemistry, the name itself suggests, here you can see, the name itself suggests it is a chemistry of biological system. Okay. So chemistry of biological system, it's very easy to understand. So what do we study in chemistry? We study molecules. And then how molecules interact with each other. So we study molecules, we study molecular reactions. These are the things we study. So in biochemistry, we will study about the biomolecules. That's simple. And biochemical reaction. That's it. So we will study biomolecules and function of biomolecules. Just understanding molecule is not worth it. So we need to understand its function. So function of this biomolecule. Okay. Structure and function of biomolecule and how this molecule interact. What is the reaction? How does this molecule interact? These all things we understand in biochemistry. In others way, in biochemistry means we understand the logic of existence, our existence, logic of our existence, or logic of life or living beings. In molecular term. So we try to understand human body. We try to understand human body in molecular sense, in molecular way. So this is what biochemistry is in a nutshell. So let's see, we will go through the slides. We will go into detail of it so that you will have more, like you will have a nice concept. You can see. So I am connecting I'm trying to use your chemistry background in favor of this biochemistry. So you can see here, these are the elements that are present in the universe. Okay, let me see this. So you can see these are the elements that are present in the universe. And it has been arranged in periodic table. But in our body, you can see in our body, all the 108 elements are not present. So our body only have this red, you can see red marked. So these are the molecules that are present in very high quantity. hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. You know this. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. Okay. Phosphorus, sulfur, and chloride, sodium, potassium, calcium. These are the components. These are the elements that are present in very high quantity. Okay. Now this magnesium, and these are present in intermediate, relatively lower quantity. So we call it trace elements. Very trace elements means daily requirement is in microgram. So this we require in microgram daily. So magnesium, this microgram, magnesium, when this is not actually part of, this is part of plant, but not our body. Chromium, manganese, iron, you can see cobalt, nickel. Nickel is also not part of our body. It is part of plant. These two are part of plant. Copper, zinc, and molybdenum. So these are the trace elements, selenium and iodine. These are trace elements. So you know these elements, where do we get these elements from? We get these elements from earth. You know, earth and air. Earth and air. How? We will talk a little bit about that. These are the elements that forms our body. So you have to understand that our body is nothing but complex organization of these elements. The elements actually, you know, the carbon, hydrogen organized, oxygen organized in different way and form different molecules. So this is basically our body composed of. And how our body is composed of, let's say that. So you can see, if you see the cell, you can see the cell. Have you been taught cell membrane?
Sorry, repeat your question there again, Dr. Santosh.
Have you been taught biological membrane or cell membrane?
I have been. I'm not sure about the other students here, but I'm pretty sure we all have a pretty good handle on it.
So class already has been taken. So this is, you can say, this is membrane. If you have taken the class, you must be knowing that membrane has this part, you can say blue part, these are protein part embedded in the lipid. So this lipid is fluid. In that fluid, this is mosaic work. Okay, these are mosaic work. So you can see this membrane is a complexly organized. This is a complexly organized, like by our part of our body, part of cell. The membrane itself is a part of cell, covering cell. So cell has membrane. You can see endoplasmic reticulum is also membrane. This nuclear membrane is also membrane. So a predominant part of cell is membrane. And you know this membrane is a complex organization. Even this protein, there are different types of protein. Not single type of protein is present throughout the cell. So there will be, throughout this membrane, there will be different type of protein present here. And same goes for lipid. Lipid also will be different types of lipid will be there. So this makes the membrane very complex type of organized, complexly organized structure of living cell. So what you, and if you compare this membrane with, like, for example, let's say your building, it is a non-living things, your home. So if you see if individual bricks of your home, and even anything, if you take out from this whole building, and if you analyze chemically, there will be a very simple structure. The structure will be, the chemical compound will be very simple. And that also will be very homogeneous, simple and homogeneous. All bricks will have same composition and they will have homogeneous composition. In that sense, the organization of this whole building, though it may be a very big, towering building, it may be a towering building, but the chemical composition is very simple. On the other hand, if you take an amoeba cell, a single cellular organism, then also if you see analyze the cell membrane, the cell membrane will be way more complicated than your big towering buildings. So what I mean to say is, these elements in your body from the universe, earth, air, you can see from the universe, they organize in a very complicated manner, and they form living cell membrane. Then cell membrane, other organelles, cell membrane covers other organelle as well. So this organelle cell, this whole cell will form tissue, and then tissue again will organize to form organ will organize to form body. So this organization is very hierarchy. It has got hierarchy, okay? Hierarchy. All our body organization has hierarchy. Cell itself is a single cell, is a very complicatedly organized tissue. If you compare it, we have compared it with a big non-living things. Even if you see space satellite, it is very simple composition, but living beings very complicatedly organized structure. And then cell again will organize to form tissue. Tissue will organize to form what? Organ will come organized to form body. Here you can see this. So this is an experimental, like if you take cell, how do you find how in the beginning scientists found that this cell has many things like that organelles? They actually centrifuged this cell. After they centrifuged, the cytosol came out as supernatant and organelles came out as pellets. And then they took this, they analyzed this part, actually this pellet part, the bottom part, and they found different types of organelle from this. And they analyzed cytosol like this. This is experimental experimentation. This is how we do experimentation in lab. Anyway, you can see this is a cell itself is a very complicatedly organized thing if you compare it with non-living things. So what I mean to say is our biological system is made from molecules, and that molecules is also way more complicatedly organized. Okay, it is not very simple organization. It is not simple organization as if you compare it with your non-living buildings or some other things. So this is your living body. Now let's see this question. You can see this question. What is the difference between living and dead animals? The same animal, okay, same animal, if it is living and it dies, so what is the difference between this living animal and dead animals? Chemically, biochemically, what is the difference? Among these four, what will be the difference? Tell me. Try to answer this question. If same animal dies, what is the difference between that animal and then animal that the same animal that was living? See, yes. See. So sometimes you will say, in a spiritual sense, they say that okay, the soul has left the body. So if you see that soul came to be energy. So if you call this energy as soul, then that makes sense. But I don't want, I'm not taking you to a spiritualism. I'm talking this so that you will understand. So this energy, so what happens is the energy dynamism is lost in dead animals. So this is what, you know, I am speaking. What is happening? It is basically energy transformation. So I am basically transforming energy into sound energy. I am looking. So I am transforming some energy into vision. So this basically our body is the unit that converts, transform energy, one form of energy to another form of energy. I will tell you what is the ultimate source of our energy. One more question.
The sun.
Very good. The ultimate source of our energy is the sun. Okay. So anyway, we are converting photons, the sun photons of sun, into different form of energy. When we walk, when we think, We are basically converting one form of energy into another form. That energy dynamism, when it is lost, we are dead. So biochemically, we can understand. So difference between living and dead means when something dies, so energy utilization, energy extraction, transformation is stopped there. So this is the basic difference. Okay. So why I told you this question, so that you will understand what is making you living. It is energy transformation mechanism that is making you living at molecular, at actually molecular fundamental level, at molecular level. Now, so you understood the difference between living and dead animals. So now it's easy to understand the difference between living and non-living. So I have already told you. So what is the difference? These four are the differences between living and non-living. You can see. So all livings, you know, they are complexly organized. Living beings are complexly organized unit. You can say, you can talk like a unit. Okay, you are a unit of this universe, and that has a capacity, that has consciousness, that can think, and that can consciously make decision, that can consciously actually utilize the photon of sun to do some fruitful job or do some violence or some bad job. So it is your choice. So this consciousness has been given, and then photon you convert into something like that. So I am converting photon of the sun to teach you right now. You can understand it. Anyway, this is complexly organized. We are complexly organized, and we all have, as long as we are living, there is constant chemical interaction going on. Constant chemical interaction going on. And then we will utilize, for this chemical interaction, we will utilize energy. Okay. And then, so all animal has capacity of reproduction, but non-living does not have capacity of reproduction. These are the differences between living and non-living things. So you must have studied in your school time when you're child. So what is the properties of living things? Food, they said food, shelter, safety, reproduction. So you studied in a general sense, in a more like superficial sense, you studied these things. But we are studying here in biochemistry in a molecular sense. The same thing you can see in molecular. Food means energy. You can see, okay, reproduction you can see here. So food and reproduction. So we are studying same thing in a more molecular form. So you understood what is living being. So you understood what is living being, what is making, so what is the organization of living beings. So now if you understood the living beings basically complexly organized molecular structure. So you are nothing but basically a molecular, complexly organized molecule. Okay. So will you identify yourself from now as molecular entity, complexly organized molecular entity? Yes. Will you identify yourself as complexly organized molecular entity that utilized like a unit that transform energy, that extract energy, that transform energy, and you have free will if you want to transform energy into productive work or non-productive work. It's your wish. So we are basically complexly organized molecular machinery, you can call it. You can call molecular machinery. So you can understand from this. Now here you see in this answer, this is the right answer, but you know, living, non-living beings, if some animal is dead, so there will not be chemical interaction also. So this somehow, this is also right answer. This is the perfect answer for this. The most appropriate answer is this. So actually I'm not going to ask this question in your exam, but I'm going to make you understand what is living beings and non-living beings. So you can understand now what is biochemistry. Biochemistry describes in molecular terms the structure, mechanism, chemical processes shared in all organisms, provides organizing principles. So we will talk about the what is logic means principles. Principles means logic. So this is biochemistry is nothing but molecular logic of life. Biochemistry, if you have to define in one terminology, biochemistry, you just call it molecular logic of life. You learn molecular logic of life. In order to understand how this molecule behaves, you need to have a concept of molecules also. Structure of molecule, okay, mechanism of how they interact. So these mechanism and processes fall under principles. What principle guide that molecular interaction? I will tell you. When we study biochemistry, I will tell you those principles. If you understand those principles, you will understand yourself, you will understand the disease better, you will understand the body functioning physiology better. So this is what biochemistry is. Biochemistry is molecular logic of life. Molecular understanding, logic you can keep an understanding. Molecular understanding of life. Molecular principle of life. This is biochemistry all about. So what happens is generally people don't focus on this principle in biochemistry, that is there in biochemistry, and because of that biochemistry becomes difficult. Now I'll tell you, so what is maintenance of this complex molecular organization requires energy. Yes, it requires energy. So what is for what purpose do we consume energy? So living organisms get energy from sunlight, you know this, sunlight, and from sunlight, photosynthesis happens, okay? Photosynthesis happens here. Photons are captured in chemical form. So photon energy is converted into chemical energy. Photon into food means food is a chemical form of energy. So photon is converted into food, and this food we take. If we are taking this plant source like rice, bread, we are taking from plant. Then this, we are a primary consumer here, So when you take food and you extract energy from the food and you do your work. So you convert this food into another form of energy. Basically, source of energy is photon. Not only that, your body, one person, anyone, any child, anyone, any human being, any animal, they are developed from a zygote. You know that, zygote. After fertilization of sperm and ovum. And in that process, what happens? This zygote will accumulate molecules from the environment, and then from the nature, and then energy from sun. And then it becomes an individual. So for growth, you can see for growth, we require food. That food supplies molecules. So you can see from nature we are getting molecules, and this molecule will be converted into a big body. And at the same time, we require energy also for growth. So that is how you can understand. So maintenance, for what purpose do we need energy? Storage and expression of information, maintenance of central dogma. So your genetic information, expression, RNA synthesis, when cell divides here, DNA, replication requires energy. RNA synthesis require energy. Because of RNA synthesis and DNA synthesis at the molecular level, your cell divides and you grow into an adult. Synthesis reaction. So this is also synthesis reaction. Replication is basically synthesis reaction. What happens? Your nucleotide, single nucleotide will convert into polymer of nucleotide. So this is synthesis reaction, formation of polymer synthesis from nucleotide. It forms a polymer. So basically, DNA is a polymer. RNA is a polymer. Protein is polymer. So polymer is synthesized here, and what is required is energy. So these are synthetic reaction, requires energy. Then movement, locomotion, movement requires energy, ATP. So maintenance of selective permeability, even your cell, potassium is high inside the cell, sodium is high outside the cell. For maintenance of high sodium outside the cell and potassium inside the cell, there is one channel. This channel is called sodium potassium ATPase. What does that mean? This channel utilizes ATP to maintain this potassium inside the cell and sodium outside the cell. And then growth, growth. So these are the functions, these are the main part of your activity of living body that utilize energy. You can classify according to your subject you study. Genetics, you will see the formation of DNA, replication, transcription, translation. These all processes require energy. Metabolism, synthetic metabolism. We will talk about this, glycogen synthesis. Then other glycogen synthesis, lipid synthesis. This all synthetic metabolism require energy. Muscle contraction. You will study in MSK system, upcoming MSK. It will require energy. Sodium, potassium ATPase. I already discussed here. It will require energy. Growth. So growth requires synthesis of many such molecules, and that molecule accumulate in your body, and that is basically growth. If the molecular is properly accumulated in your body in a very proper manner, so that will be a normal growth. So I try to understand. My purpose is to convey a message that this message so that you will start to understand yourself or human body in molecular terms. If you understand human body in molecular terms, and that will be actually start of understanding of biochemistry. You can see here. So I have put 2 slides. So these 2 slides are almost similar. So I will talk on this slide, okay? And something left on this slide, I will talk a little bit about that. You can see here stored. You can see solar photon, okay? This solar photon somehow it converts into energy, and that energy will actually in food, it will be trapped in food, and that food, you break that food, okay? We'll talk about this cellular respiration. We'll break that food and extract energy, and that energy you will utilize that energy for various purpose, for locomotion, whatever we studied here. For all this purpose, you utilize energy, and for growth, understood? You utilize energy, you extract energy, and you utilize energy, and energy will be utilized for synthesis of molecule, and this synthesis of molecule is called anabolic process. Here we have synthesized the molecule. So because of synthesis of molecule, your body has grown from zygote to adult. So this is because of synthesis of molecule, and synthesis of molecules happens because of this, and synthesis of molecule happens by the energy supplied by this process, catabolic process, by breaking of the bone, by breaking of the food. So you can see catabolic process release energy, and anabolic process will utilize energy for growth. So this one part of your reaction in the body actually supply energy, other part of reaction that is helpful for making your body for growth or maintenance of that body requires energy, that is called anabolic process. Anabolic means synthesis of molecule. Catabolic means breakdown of molecules. So breakdown of molecules will supply energy, and that energy will be utilized by anabolic process. And the intermediate is ATP. So this process is called production of energy, and then this part is utilizing energy. This process is called energy coupling. Okay, this process is called energy coupling. So we are doing like this energy, actually this you can call it energy cycle like thing. So energy is extracted and utilized, extracted and utilized. Anyway, source is photon. Ultimate source is photon. You are indirectly extracting energy from photon and converting into your anabolic reaction and other useful work. So did you understand this energy coupling? This is a good concept, important concept. Yes?
Yes, understand, Dr. Santosh.
And you try to understand this terminology: exergonic reaction, endergonic. Exothermic reaction is catabolic. Almost all actually catabolic reaction are exergonic reaction, exothermic reaction. Anabolic reaction is endergonic or endothermic reaction. Understand this. So I'm basically talking about how this molecule forms your body and how you utilize energy, how you extract energy and utilize energy for your own purpose, for your growth, for doing useful work. So here I have shown this feedback regulation. I will talk about this feedback regulation in enzyme topic. Okay, so don't worry about this. So feedback regulation, I will talk about this in enzyme. So you in homeostasis, you must have studied feedback regulation in physiology, but this feedback regulation is at the level of chemical reaction. So which make this possible, this chemical energy coupling? What makes this energy coupling possible? Enzyme makes this energy coupling possible. Enzymes is very important part of your body. If there were no enzyme, this energy coupling would not be possible. You can understand how, because catabolic process is also facilitated by enzyme. Anabolic processes are also carried out by enzymes. So enzyme is the actually catalyst, actually like grease, like this. You can call it like grease that actually facilitated this movement and energy coupling. So enzyme, we will talk in next class about enzyme. So enzyme is very important for extracting energy and then utilizing the same energy into useful work. Last thing here on the biochemistry, like I've told you the chemical basis of this capacity of reproduction. Okay, so what is reproduction? So chemical basis of reproduction, chemical basis of growth is also replication. Growth, chemical basis of growth is also replication. Because of replication, cell divides. One cell divides into two, because DNA has to be duplicated. Otherwise, there will not be two cells. So this 2 cell will convert into 4 cell because of, again, DNA duplication. Duplication is done by process called replication, DNA replication. So DNA replication is very important for your growth, and not only for your growth, for reproduction. The most important chemical basis for reproduction is your DNA replication. So from one cell, gamete is formed. In male, 4 spermatozoa are formed from one germ cell, and they all contain DNA. Before they contain DNA, there will be first meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. And in order to happen this, there has to be replication here. So replication is the basis of your reproduction and growth. Understand this very important concept. And maintenance of cells also require replication. So you understood biochemistry in a broader view.
Yes, sir.
Just understand, you are a molecular, like complexly organized molecular entity, and that is constantly transforming energy. you are energy transformer, basically. A unit, living unit is basically energy transformer. You think bad, it is also transforming energy. You think good, that is also a energy transformation. You speak, that is also energy transformation. You actually speak good words, energy transformation. You speak bad words, that is also energy transformation. It is your will, okay, how you transform energy. You have that consciousness. So you are a conscious energy transforming entity. So your responsibility is to actually tilt the balance of the universe in a good direction. Transformation of energy in a good direction. Okay. So even if you are sitting, you are converting energy. You think you are converting energy, you are transforming energy. So energy, you are basically an energy transforming unit. Complexly organized energy transforming unit. And your body does not belong to you. Your body belongs to nature. Nature has provided you all the molecules. It's not your body, it's nature's body. Okay, it's not energy, that it's not energy, your energy, it's energy from sun. So if you think that way, you never be egoist. Okay, and this is what is the purpose of spiritualism. So let your ego down. Otherwise, like, if you don't control our ego, we destroy ourselves. So let's say this. So we will in MD1 and MD2. So we will talk about this. MD1, what in MD1, this we have actually 3 systems. We will combinedly talk about this. We will study combinedly CBS and recipe combinedly. So in FBS, first in this session, we will talk about enzymes. Main is enzymes. Enzyme is very important. Okay. So enzyme is like foundation. It is like foundation on which I will add building. So I will talk about the principles of many. So enzyme will carry many principles that will be guiding biochemistry. Okay. Enzyme will have many principles. You will study about the how many like rules of biochemistry in enzymes. So if you understand how enzymes behave, you will understand how biochemistry is going to be. So enzyme is very important. You need to understand enzyme very nicely. So don't miss the class and actually revise this topic many times. Okay, you have in the beginning, you will have time. So you revise the topic many times. Memorize each and everything of enzyme. Okay, if you understand the enzyme, if you memorize enzyme nicely, then other topic actually will be easier. So this is enzyme. Then mucopolysaccharide. This is an important part in this unit. That is why I've made it bold. Mucopolysaccharidosis and enzyme. Most of the questions will be from these 2 parts. Now then, MSK, we will talk about cellular respiration of carbohydrate. Cellular respiration of carbohydrate means from glucose, how glucose is burned into CO2 and energy is liberated. Right from glycolysis, then after glycolysis, glucose will be metabolized to Krebs cycle, then through electron transport. These all 3 parts we will talk in MSK. Then in CVS, we will talk all about lipid. So all lipid metabolism, chemistry, we will talk about what is lipid means fat. We'll talk about fat metabolism and fat chemistry in cardiovascular system. In respiratory system, we'll talk about heme and hemoglobin. Okay. Here in MD2, so we will talk about protein, structural organization of protein and catabolism of protein. Then we will talk about nucleotide metabolism and disorders of nucleotide metabolism. Nucleotide means DNA, RNA, unit of DNA, RNA. So we will study there. Now GIT, in GIT, we will talk about the carbohydrate metabolism. Here we studied lipid metabolism in CBS. Here we will study carbohydrate metabolism, glycogen synthesis, gluconeogenesis, HMP shunt. These all things we will study in GIT. Now digestion and absorption of carbohydrate, protein, lipid, vitamins and minerals. We will study in these 2 broad topics. We will study in GIT. Then last in MD2 is endo, repro and renal system. Endo, repro, this is not renal. Okay, renal is there. Renal will come in. Endo, repro. Okay. Renal and neuro. This is renal and nervous system. Endo, repro. Okay. In endo, repro, we'll talk about vitamins And amino acid chemistry, you can see amino acid we are going to talk in at last. We will study at last. And then we will talk about congenital adrenal hyperplasia. These are the topics we will be covering in whole of this. So you can go to your step 1 on first aid also, and you can see, you can match the topic, whatever I've seen here. You can see this topic, you can turn the pages of that first aid. You can, if you don't have that book, you can go through first aid PDF. So let's see this broad let's talk about broadly biomolecules. You need to know always, okay? You need to have concept about this. At least I recommend you to have a rough picture of this, have a rough picture of this molecule, these molecules in your brain, okay? So whenever I tell you glucose, this word must not come, this should come. Then it will be easier for you to study biochemistry. This hexagonal like thing should come. This hexagonal thing should come in your brain. You can call it hexagonal plate like thing. So this type of structure has to, whenever I tell you glucose, this type of hexagonal structure has to come. Whenever I tell you protein, so you need to have in your brain, like whenever I tell you protein, this word must not come, this should come. A chain of amino acid, this should come, a chain of amino acid. What is amino acid? You can see amino is amino, and then acid is, this is acid. Amino acid, and there is side chain, one side chain, R group, and there is hydrogen. This is hydrogen. So I'll write here. What is amino acid? This is, as name suggests, this is amino and acid. Write one carbon at the center. You need to understand the structure of basic molecules, okay? I don't want you to memorize all the molecular structure, but basic molecular structure you need to have, okay? So that is why I have written here. So this molecular structure you need to have. General molecular structure, because molecule is never asked in exam, okay? You need to have a rough molecular structure so that you will retain the biochemistry. You know, in anatomy, you have a picture, you have liver, you can see liver easily, and you can actually conceptualize. You know, your memory, whatever you learn, that memory is always in the form of image. The memory traces that are stored in your brain is always in the form of image. And that is why image is very, very, very important. You need to have image of these molecules. So this, draw one carbon at the center, because this is amino acid, you write it amino, and then this is acid. So acid, I'm writing like this, or you can write like this also, COOH, amino and acid. And you draw one hydrogen, and then you draw this arrow. So you can, I'm making it animated, okay? So I have made it head here. You can see this head. You can call it like nose, okay? So this is hand. This is also hand. This is small body, okay? This is like a different type of body. You can take it as also like bird. So wings, two wings, and then this. So you can say this at wings or at hands, NH2 and COH. At face, there is R group. So why I have made this face? Because this R group is the group because of which you separate two amino acids. Two means you people are separate. How do people recognize you? People, I will recognize you. Actually, how do I recognize you? I will recognize you through your face. So this face makes you different. Okay, your face makes you different. If you cover your face, it's difficult for me to differentiate between you people. So this is the face. Because of this R group, different amino acids are different. So understand this R group. We will talk about this R group in enzyme also. So R group is very, very important. So amino acid, and it has got R group means side chain. R group means side chain. This is called side chain. This is called acid. Memorize this structure. And this is fatty acid. So fatty acid is like this. So fatty acid I'm giving you. So fatty acid is a long chain of carbon. And then at last there is COOH group. So I want you to remember this like a snake, a cobra snake. I want you to remember it like cobra. You can see cobra with head here. You can see OH is like head. Okay. So if you remember like cobra, so you will remember this easily. So head is COOH group and other is tail is hydrocarbon. This is unsaturated fatty acid, is always kinky. Okay. So this is the normal. These are the general broad three category of molecules. One is carbohydrate. You know, in food you eat carbohydrate. Carbohydrate. This is the carbohydrate glucose. You need to understand glucose. What is glucose? Then you eat protein in your diet. You need to have protein in your diet. And then what else? You need to have lipid in your diet. So carbohydrate, protein, and lipid we discussed. And this all carbohydrate, protein, lipid, they are going to convert into the part of your body. Okay, some carbohydrate and lipid will be utilized for your energy, and then some of them will be part of your body. They will make cell. So understand this. Now, this fourth category of molecule is nucleotide, DNA and RNA. So nucleotide, it has the central base. So I'm going to make it like this. So you can make the face like this, okay? So this is like head, and you can put like one base here and phosphate here. So this is what we call is nucleotide. Just remember like this. So if you do your hand like this, can you see my hand? Tell me.
Yep.
So if you do your hand like this, so what happens? Here is the base. So you can see this is sugar, okay? And your thumb, if you see your thumb, this thumb, one thumb will attach base, one thumb will attach the phosphate. And do this practice. If you do this practice, you will remember the structure of nucleotide better. So you do like this. So this is a nucleotide, structure of nucleotide. Remember the structure of nucleotide also. So we will require this structure of nucleotide, this carbohydrate, glucose especially. Then protein is a chain of amino acids. You can see amino acid has been magnified. This is amino and acid. So amino acid, one R group is side chain is there. So each amino acid has this four part, amino, acid, and side chain like this. And then this is lipid, especially fatty acid. I want you to memorize like a snake. So you can imagine your imagination, this fatty acid crawling. So see, imagination makes your memory very strong. You have to use your imagination in biochemistry at least, because you see no molecule. You can't see any molecule. So you have to imagine. Okay. So you have to imagine. How do you imagine? The simple technique is there to imagine. Just look at this molecule, close your eyes, try to see inside your head. Look at the molecule, try to see inside your head. So if you do this practice in the beginning, though you may find a little bit like awkward in the beginning, but it will help you a lot in actually making the concept, building the concept of biochemistry. Now, so these are my tips. These are my infallible tips for study. If you understand this, you will have a very nice strategy of study. Okay. So you first need to have a good character, study character. What character means? Your habit, study habit has to be there. Some people, what happens is you study for 15 minutes and your mind actually is not concentrated. You need to have concentration and you need to study. Okay. So you need to have a good study habit, like at least 1 to 2 hours you can study. You need to study. Then you need to have a not only study habit, mindset also. What happens is many students, they actually install a word called difficult. This type of word, difficult and hard. Oh, this is very hard. This is very difficult. Oh, yes, it is. It will be difficult in the beginning, but it's not difficult. So try to uninstall this word. These are very toxic words. Uninstall this word. you are powerful or medicine is powerful. You have to challenge medicine. You have come to study medicine. You have to challenge medicine. You are powerful. You have the power. So if you study hard, actually study in a proper way, you can actually understand. And in the beginning, you have difficulty, okay? In the beginning. But later you will feel very easy if you work hard in the beginning. So mindset is very important. Keep a warrior-like mindset. Warrior mentality. So if something comes difficult, I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna win this. Okay, I have the capability, I'm gonna win this. So you have to have this warrior mindset. There's two type of mindset, warrior and warrior. So forgive me if I make any spelling mistake, just understand, I think you will understand warrior mindset or warrior mindset, okay? So you need to have a warrior mindset. And attitude, always have a positive type of attitude, okay? Attitude is something like when you show your mindset, showing mindset is attitude. If some difficulty come in your, before you, how you deal with that difficulty is called attitude. So attitude must have a very great deal of patience. You need to have a great deal of patience. And then second thing is persistence. So these are the character you need to have as a student, okay? You need to have a warrior mindset and you need to have a patience. When exam comes, you will feel overwhelmed, but don't lose your hope. Be persistent, keep trying. Don't take too much of worry, okay? Even if you fail in one exam, we have something called remedial exam. After summative, we have remedial exam. I may have forgotten to tell you, after summative, we have remedial exams. If you fail, you can cover after 1 week, we have remedial exam. You can study and you can pass this. But you have to be patient from the beginning. If you are patient from the beginning, then you will do good in remedial. If you are like anxious from the beginning, then you will actually do bad in summative also, and you will do bad in remedial also. But if you are patient and you think that you are like slow student, there is not good student or bad student. All students are good, but some people, they go slow. Some people go fast. So if you are slow type of student, it is not a bad thing. There are lots of good advantage with slow student as well. So you will have to be persistent, okay? More persistent. Slow student has to be more persistent, more vigilant. And then if you are persistent through and through, then you have a high chance that you will pass remedial. Even if you fail this remedial, FBS remedial, you will have high chance passing MSK. But you need to have a right attitude, right mindset, and good habit. So understand this. Imagination. Use your imagination in your favor. Imagination is a very big weapon. I told you how simple way of imagination. Keep your eyes closed and see the same thing in your head. You can do this practice with anatomy also. You can keep you see some object like liver or some organ, and then you close your eye and see the every tiny detail of that organ in your head. This is a very powerful tool. Imagination is very powerful. Try to use it. Many people don't use this. Okay, they revise, and this is how like they subconsciously use. Try to use this imagination consciously. Then note taking. So one good point about this, you already have a note as first aid. Okay, and we provide note as PPT. So one good thing about note taking is you don't have to spend too much time in note taking, but you can utilize same PowerPoint. You can write something extra, some extra point, because everyone is different. So you require something else. You understand, you know something else that other does not know. So that is why you need to customize yourself in note taking. Okay, so try to make note that will favor you. And in note taking, every student does very big mistake that they write too much things. They don't try to write too much things. Try to write vocabulary. Try to write vocabulary in the form of vocabulary, like medical terminology and their meaning. In that sense, try to write their meaning if you don't understand, and try to write concept somewhere, concept, and what concept is important, try to write that concept name only, and focus and go and visit this. So purpose of note taking is revision. Understand this. If you write too much, how would you able to revise? No, it's, you cannot, you will not be able to revise. So purpose of note taking is revision. It will facilitate revision. And how do you revise? You do active revision. So try to close your books or any PowerPoint. You try to recall things first. Try to retrieve things first. If something you don't retrieve, then go on that point only, and then start reading that, and start reading them. If you revise line and line through line, so initial step is okay. You have to revise initial step. You have to read line to line. But revision means not reading. In revision, in reading, you have already pointed out certain points, and like in revision, what you do is you try to recollect those points if you memorize or not. If you don't memorize, if you have concept like problem in some concept, you go strictly on that point and then review that point in a very detailed way. Then you will understand things. So question is very, very important. So I put many questions in my slides, okay? So try to see that question, or if you can get other questions. So in the beginning, it's very difficult to like go on UWorld. I don't suggest in the beginning to go on directly on UWorld, because like if you go on UWorld, you will waste a lot of time and you will not be able to cover your topic. So MD1, MD2, I don't suggest for UWorld. After MD2, you can go and like go and study, like do the UWorld questions. So in the beginning, we will supply some question, and you can go through that question nicely and try to understand that with those questions. So that will help you in the beginning. Question is very, very important. And then group discussion. This is the next level of study. If you have a group, like we are online, so it's very difficult to get group. So if you become offline, you have a group, make your group, small group of yourself, so of your friends, and then actually discuss through question. Discuss question in that group. Don't discuss haphazard thing. Discuss question. So that group discussion has to be directed by question. So these are the master rules. If you follow, I think you will do good in exams. And so we will talk about this enzyme in next topic. So I want you to memorize this cartoon structure, okay, like shark. This is enzyme, you know, this is enzyme. This is the body of an enzyme. This is the mouth of enzyme. Just remember, put this into your imagination. So see this picture, close your eyes, try to see inside your head, okay? So this is all about introduction. So